So you got a new reel. One of the things you're gonna have to decide right away is which hand do I want to retrieve with? And there's no real right or wrong answer here. It is strictly personal preference, but I can try and help guide you through it. So if you fished for a bit, you might already have a preference, and if you reel left to right hand, and that's great. I would just stick with that most likely. However, if you're coming in fresh, I can offer you a couple of tips. So historically, the most common way to go, and we're talking years ago, was if you're a right-handed caster, you would set up the reel so the handle is on the right side. And so what that would mean is that you cast right, you hook a fish, you switch hands and reel right. I find that quite awkward, and so that's not what I do, but that was the most common way to go at one point. Part of that was undoubtedly just the general preference for doing everything right-handed in life, but there were a couple of good solid reasons for it as well, so we'll touch on those. One would be if you were big game fishing. So, fishing for larger fish, you might have had extended fights, which would tire you out as much as the fish through the fight. And so the thought was, okay, I'm casting right-handed here, I hook a fish, now I switch hands, and through the process of fighting that fish, tire this arm out, so that when I land that fish, I can go back to fishing. My right, casting arm is fresh and ready to go and keep fishing. That's one example of why you might go that way. I don't think it's the strongest reason for it, but you can make your own mind up on that one. The other reason that you might go right-handed reel on for a right-handed caster would be if you're, say, swinging flies for salmon and steelhead, where you'd be holding the rod at your side, just sort of relaxed as that fly is swinging. A fish might grab pretty hard, and that handle could get caught on your clothing or on your side as it starts rapidly spinning. You could break off a fish or just get tangled up. Not a bad reason. Again, I generally find I have no issue. I've never actually had that happen swinging for fish with the reel on my left side, but that was a thought as well. These days, most people just realize that it's much easier. If you're a right-handed caster, you reel on the left so you don't have to switch hands, and vice versa. If you're a left-handed caster, you reel on the right. Whatever way you decide to go, I would recommend that if you have multiple rod and reel setups, that all of your reels are rigged on the same direction. I do know some folks who are more or less ambidextrous, and so they have a couple one way, a couple another. I find that quite confusing, and I've seen a couple of these same folks forget when they're on the water which rod they have in their hand, and almost have to go looking for the handle to figure it out. I think that just invites chances for mistakes. So whatever way you go, I would just recommend, set up all your setups in the same direction, just for the sake of ease. Hopefully that helps you make a decision. Check out the rest of our YouTube videos for more handy tips like this.